So let's get started with Git. So hopefully you've already installed Git using the instructions that were on the lesson page, and you are at your terminal. So I'm on a Mac machine, so this is terminal, and there are some Unix commands that I'm going to show you. So pwd is print the working directory. So it shows me that I'm in my root directory on my desktop. And from here, I'm going to make a new directory, and I'm going to call this git practice. And you can either use the command make dir, or you can just go to your desktop and create a new folder called git practice. Either of them works fine. So now I'm going to change directory, so that's the cd command, to git practice. And if I do an ls, that's going to list all of the files in this directory. And a directory is just a folder. So if I say directory or folder, it's the same thing. Okay, now I want Git to track the changes in this directory or folder. And so if you're familiar with Google Docs, you know that you can go up to the top to the menu and you can look at the version history in a Google Doc, and then you can choose an earlier version to revert back to. So it's the same idea with Git. Git is installed on your local computer, and you can ask it to keep track of changes, and then you can go back to previous versions if needed. So that's the idea behind Git. So to tell Git to pay attention to this directory, I'm going to use git init. Okay, and it created an empty repository or repo. Now I'm ready to make a text file. So I'm going to use VI. You can use VI or Vim or any other text editor. And I'm going to call this mydoc.text. Okay, and then I'm in the text editor. So to insert text, you hit the I key, and then you can see down here at the bottom it says insert, and then I can just start typing. So line 1, practice with Git. Okay, and then to save my changes, I'm going to do escape, hit the colon, WQ, and that stands for write and then quit. So I'm going to look at the contents of my file, and I'll use that with cat, so concatenate, and then mydoc.text. And you can see there's my text file with one line of text in it. So now I'm going to look and see what Git thinks about this. So I'm going to do a git status, and Git is going to tell me there's one file added, but I haven't added it to the repo yet. So there's a couple of things that you have to do to add this to the repo. First, you have to tell Git to add it, and there's a couple different ways. You can say git add mydoc.text if you want to add just one file, or you can do git add dot, and that'll add all the files that are in your current directory. Or you can do -A, and that's going to add all of the files and all of the folders in the current Git repo that you're tracking. Okay, so I'm going to just do a git add dot because I don't have other folders, just the one document. And then I'm ready to commit this change. So you have to remember all changes have to be added and then committed. It's a two-step process. And then I'll say git commit. And then we're going to do a -m for a message. And then you always want to put a descriptive message. So I'll just say first commit. Okay, and then it gives me some information, and if I do a git status, it says I'm on the branch master, and it's either going to say master or main. Once I connect to GitHub, this is going to all of a sudden change to main, and they're trying to get away from the word master. So yours might say master or main. So now let's So now we're all up to date, and we can use this command called git log, and that will tell me a list of all of the commits that I've made. And I've only made one commit so far, and it's listed right here. You can see the commit message. Okay, so that's how you get started with Git. You initialize the repository, and then as you make changes, you add them to a staging area, and then you commit them to the repo.